Hi, this is Bob Miglani, best-selling author of Embrace the Chaos. Today, I'm going to talk to you about this Embrace the Chaos India experience that I'm going to be offering for 2020. I'm going to give you a little bit of overview of the program and who it's for. The program is essentially an Embrace the Chaos experience that I'm offering that was based largely upon my book, Embrace the Chaos. And it's a journey of a personal transformation and change that I experienced, and I want to share it with you in 2020. The program, the goal of the program, and first of all, let me tell you a little bit about the program, and then tell you the goal, and then who it's for. Right? So the program is, you join me, so a small group of people, less than 10 people, join me in India. And why India? Because India, I think, is the capital of the chaos and change and uncertainty. There's so much change, uncertainty, and chaos in India that we use it as a classroom to learn about change and uncertainty and how we can deal with it in our life and continue to move forward in our life. And that's what the program is. So I take you to a series of experiences in India, and each of these experiences are curated to help you, grow, change, learn, renew, rediscover your passion, rediscover yourself, and move forward in life. That's what it's for. It's for you. I'm not a tour guide. I'm an inner guide. And what I do is we don't go to sites. We don't go to famous sites in India and we say, okay, we might see a couple of them, but we don't go to too many sites in India and we say, oh, it was built at this date and that time. No, that's not the point. The point is that a lot of us in life these days, a lot of you are going through a massive amount of change in your job, in your career, and in your life. So your job, you might be outsourced. You might have gotten laid off. You might have quit your job. Or you're thinking about quitting your job, that you've been doing for such a long time. You're thinking about creating a new business or startup that you might be running. And you might be overwhelmed with all of the change and uncertainty that you might be facing. And so it's important when you're going through change and uncertainty is to have a point of reference, have a friend, have a mentor, have somebody who can help you in that journey. And I've done that. I've had those experiences. I was working in corporate America for many years, for 23 years, very large company. I left. I had this massive change that I went through. Yes, I worried about, the money, the health benefits, all the good things that come along when working in corporate America. But I was worried and there was so much change and I was anxious all the time. I had a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress. And so what I did was I had this experience in India that changed my life, and I'd like to offer that experience for you. So what are we going to do in India? We're going to do a number of different experiences, and each of them are designed specifically to help you understand the forces of change and transformation so you can appreciate them and bring them and apply them to your own life. So what are we going to do in India? All right, so the program overview is that. It's for change and for uncertainty that you might be dealing with in your life, okay? Change and uncertainty. So the program is a series of experiences, and those series of experiences are, one, we have to learn to let go of this notion of control and perfection. And what we do is we go for a walkabout to a train system, yes, in Mumbai, the biggest city in India. 22 million people live in this big, massive city that's vibrant with tons of people and chaos. We go to take a train and we see the train station in the morning. You see, if you want to talk about chaos, you go to the train station. And what you learn at the train station is overcrowded, hot, and really, really messy. But somehow people get on this train. You see this train, you're like, oh my God, it's this massive humanity on this train. And so you see and experience this notion of being uncomfortable. But the point of that experience is learning to let go. Learning to let go of this model that everything has to be perfect and that you have so much control. Nothing is perfect and you don't have a lot of control. But that's okay. That's okay. And we learn from that experience. We learn a few other things from that experience that we go to. So we do those kind of field trips. We do walkabouts and we visit the train. We go to the train system. We learn and understand. And one of the big reasons we do that is it's a shock to the system. First thing we have to do is to break the ego. break, when we're trying to change in life, we have to break the ego. And that ego has to be broken by interrupting the usual patterns that we have running our head. This is a very unusual pattern, I will tell you. And so you have to break that pattern. So that's the first thing we do. We go to another experience that we go to is we go and visit a very special place in India where there's a guru. Okay, it's like a second generation guru. It's on this beautiful countryside. Okay, and the point of visiting that guru, and we have special access to that guru because I know him, and his son is a very close friend of mine. We've become friends over 15 years. I visited that guru when I was going through my change. But here's the point. What I'm going to ask you to do before we visit that guru is, what is the biggest question of your life? You get to ask him one question. And you ask him, you write down the biggest question of your life. And visiting, and in preparation to see that guru, you will be writing the biggest question of your life. How often have you done that? Have you done that ever? Have you thought about that? So we go through this exercise of, one, the train, which is breaking these egos, breaking the barriers of change initially, and letting go of control and perfection. Second is identifying the biggest question of your life. Getting clear about what you really want. In all of this change and uncertainty, what is the certainty that you're looking for? What do you want? Okay? And that big question is often addressed where you're going to be forced to ask that question to this guru who's going to give you a response. We cut the line. There's going to be 100 people waiting. It's a beautiful countryside we're going to drive into in India. Beautiful rural countryside, clean village, very nice village. And there's going to be 100 people waiting to see him. We're going to cut the line, if you will, and we're going to go and see him in a private conversation. Only a handful of us, okay? And you're going to ask him that question. So how many times in life you get a chance to ask a guru in India a life-changing question? You don't. This is very, very special. This is life-changing, okay? So that's the second thing we do. We identify and we ask the biggest question of our lives. You know, the third experience, then we fly to another place. And, you know, that other place is going to be a village outside of Ahmedabad, okay? It's about 2 hours from a major city. I've been to this village, and we're going to see how people in the village live, work, and they find happiness in the smallest things. They find joy and meaning in their life. I've been to this village. I wrote about this village in my book, Embrace the Chaos. We're going to get exclusive, in touch feel for what people live like in utter poverty, and they find happiness and joy. How do they do that? And that's a really important thing. And then the other thing we learn in that is about finding your own purpose. So that's one. There's a number of things. There's a number of learnings in each of these mini experiences that you're going to have. That where you're going to see people, talk to people, be there, experience it yourself, and smell the air and the sunshine, and you'll experience that. You know, a fourth experience we'll have is of an Indian wedding. Indian weddings are massive, very chaotic, but what we learn is, you know, either 2 hours or sometimes 3 days later, two people get married. Things work out in the end, and you have to go with the flow. And so what we learn in that marriage experience, how are we going to go to a wedding, you ask? I have very, very good contacts and friends and lots of people that what we're going to do is we're going to have an opportunity to participate in an Indian wedding. There's a wedding, Indian wedding happening somewhere at every time, of the year, okay? And through my network of people, we're going to be invited, I promise you, to an amazing Indian wedding experience, and you'll participate in that wedding. And what you'll learn is about joy. You'll learn about happiness. You'll learn about, not worrying about the order and things and what comes next, and reducing anxiety and stress, and trying to go with the flow, and you learn a few other things along the way. And then we'll do another experience. The last experience I think we'll have is we're going to do something a little bit physically demanding. We're going to climb a little mountain, and not too high. You're going to be sort of a walk up the mountain, and you're going to see in a mountain, in a place where God is supposed to reside. Okay, there's going to be a place I'm going to take you. I've been there many years ago, and millions of people go there in India. And it's not about religion. Okay, it's not about religion. Okay, it's about seeing the mass of humanity going up this mountain. People who are older, who can't walk, climbing up this mountain, and in a belief of something higher and bigger than them. And then when they get to that point of seeing, quote unquote, God, and and realizing what that means. And I went up there and I wrote about it in my book, and my experience was like, well, I don't feel God. I'm here in this place. What is it supposed to feel like? But I realized something else very powerful, which I will share with you, next. If you want to join the trip, I'll share that with you before we go. It's an amazing experience. And what you learn about, divine, you learn about nature of life and people. You learn about people. And then ultimately you learn about yourself and how you can apply that to moving forward. So those many experiences make up this Embrace the Chaos India inner experience. It's an inner journey. It's not about seeing India. Okay, it's not about that. Yes, there's a mystery about India, but it's not about India per se. It's about you. Okay? I know that you're struggling and you're having a lot of challenges with dealing with change and uncertainty in your life, in your job, in your career, in your relationships. And what I've been fortunate enough to have is an experience of growing up in the US, okay? But being born in India and having gone back there and taken so many people to India, from CEOs to friends and to India, and India changes you. And what I want to use is that experience of change, uncertainty, chaos that you see in the classroom that's called real life, okay? It's real life in India, okay? You use that, and you use that and to learn for yourself on how to change, how to grow, how to transform, and ultimately become successful and finding meaning in your life. That's what this experience is about. It's about you. So yes, we're going to go all these trips and these many experiences, but more importantly, you're going to spend time with me. I've been through a lot of that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you go through that journey. I'm going to help you go through and say, Bob, how do I reinvent my career? Well, I'm going to share with you examples of how I did it, how others are doing it here in America, how give you models, give you tools, give you learnings, give you a workbook on how to figure that out. You say, Bob, how do I deal with stress? How do I reduce my stress? And how do I reduce my anxiety? I can't stop overthinking. We're going to go through that. You're going to say, Bob, how do I create this business? I get so worried about paying the bills and everything. We're going to go through that. During the course of the walkabout, it's going to be you and me. It's going to be you and me and maybe 9 other people. And we're going to spend time talking about life, about your life. This trip is about you and me going through a journey together so that you can be better off and saying, I experienced an amazing experience. Experienced an amazing experience, yes. An amazing, life-changing experience. And I'm better off for it. I could do this at the Marriott Hotel in Newark Airport, Convention Center in Chicago. We could sit in a classroom and show you slides and presentations. But I don't like that. I think the best teacher is real life. And the reason we do India is because it's an assault on the senses. The wake-up call you want to give to yourself, okay, before a wake-up call that happens to you. Often, in life, I'm going to wrap up now and tell who's for, but, often in life, we get these wake-up calls. Heart attack, some sort of medical healthcare problem, a shock to our system. It wakes us up. It says, I got to change. A spouse, some sort of family threat or crisis, okay? Your children, your spouse, God forbid, something bad happens and you're like, oh my God, this is God, you get laid off from your work. Your job changes. You get politics, you get fired, you get let go. Something drastic happens. You passed up for the big job, Or fourth is your business, your startup fails or is going down. And you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So these are wake-up calls in life that force you to change, okay? What I'm suggesting to you today is that this is a voluntary wake-up call. This is a proactive wake-up call that you give to yourself. It's the benefit of having a transformational travel experience, but the point of travel is to change you, okay? For you to get better, for you to grow. When I went through India, my experience I wrote about in my book, Embrace the Chaos, is I reduced my stress, I reduced my anxiety, I got promoted, I became more successful, and more importantly, I found more meaning in my life. I did. And so I share it with all my videos and my writings that I've been doing for years, okay? And so this experience is for those people who want to know how to deal with uncertainty and change, okay? Uncertainty and change, how to deal with uncertainty and change, who want to renew and reinvent themselves, okay? And to refresh the mind, to refresh the body and the spirit and the soul, but more importantly, want to change so that you can grow. Okay, that's the idea. So you can change, so you can grow again, because that's and ultimately about moving forward. How do you move forward in these crazy times that we live in today? That's what this trip is about. So it's ideally for people who have worked for a while, who are maybe a midpoint in their life. I'm not saying a midlife crisis, no, nothing like that, but maybe it is. A lot of people these days in Silicon Valley, 35-year-olds are going through midlife crisis. Could be you could have a corporate career like I did and say, I don't want to do this anymore and want to do something else. And that's what it's for, people who want to learn and actually spend time with me. And I don't mean it in a selfish way, but someone who can guide them, be a mentor, and help them through that journey. And that's what this is really about. And if I've done this with a couple of friends, a couple of folks, and you'll see some of their comments about the experiences that we've had. And anyway, I want to wrap up now. This Embrace the Chaos India experience is about you and me and going through this journey of change and transformation, using India as a classroom, using India as a real experiential immersion experience to get lessons from life. It's not PowerPoints or rah at a hotel and at an airport, okay? It's not about that. It's about real life. It's about real experiences. And I'm hoping that you'll join me in this once in a lifetime experience. I'm only going to do this once, maybe twice a year, with only under 10 people. That's it. It's exclusive. You have to apply. How do you do it? You apply. I get your application, and I got to know you want it. You really want to do it. You really want to change. Okay. If you want a tour of India, I can give you a phone number to get a tour of India. Okay. I'm not doing that at all. I'm not. We're not visiting famous sites and things like that. We might go to Taj Mahal. I'm not sure, but we're gonna have a wonderful time. So you apply online, and we have a conversation about what you really want to try to achieve in your life, what's going on in your life, and it's got to be a good chemistry of the group also, because we want people who are open-minded somewhat, and have a good time. Have a great time. We're gonna have a great time. We're gonna go to a wedding. You're gonna dance. You're gonna go to a marketplace. We're gonna try to catch a train. We're gonna go up a mountain. We're gonna go to a village. Oh, it'll be fun. It'll be a fun time. This is Bob Miglani, wishing you great happiness and success in your life, with love and respect for all that you do. Have a great day. And if you have any questions, give me a call. Okay, bye.